Why did they do that? What were they thinking? These are the questions that millions of Americans are asking after a stunning and humiliating defeat in the U.S. House of Representatives. The bizarre saga began when a bipartisan agreement to keep the government running was derailed by an unlikely duo, Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Their intervention, laden with social media theatrics and a brazen push for fiscal irresponsibility, sparked a political firestorm that left MAGA Republicans scrambling. This Frankenstein's monster of a bill, pieced together under pressure from these two figures, faced an emphatic rejection, with 235 members of Congress voting against it. Now, the spotlight turns to the chaotic aftermath, with MAGA Republicans reeling from the consequences of their own miscalculations and the Democratic Party's firm resistance to the billionaire-driven agenda. How did we get here? What went so wrong? And most importantly, what does this debacle mean for the future of American governance? Stick around as we dissect this historic moment and the ripple effects of Musk and Trump's unprecedented overreach. The bipartisan agreement, a fragile peace. It all started with a continuing resolution negotiated between Democrats and Republicans, an agreement designed to prevent a government shutdown. The deal represented a rare moment of bipartisan cooperation, a pragmatic approach to ensure that federal workers, essential programs, and the broader economy would not suffer the consequences of partisan gridlock. However, the fragile peace was shattered when Elon Musk decided to intervene. Taking to his social media platform X, formerly Twitter, Musk launched a series of provocative posts, including one featuring a samurai sword striking through the metaphorical bill. Musk's rhetoric was incendiary, calling the bipartisan resolution criminal and warning that any Republican who supported it would face political retribution. The agreement's intent was simple: maintain government operations while giving lawmakers more time to debate long-term fiscal strategies. It was a compromise born of necessity, not ideology. Yet Musk's public outcry, filled with dramatic imagery and loaded accusations, turned a straightforward procedural vote into a political minefield. Musk's motivations remain a subject of speculation. Was this a genuine concern for fiscal policy or a calculated attempt to flex his growing political influence? Regardless of intent, his involvement marked a turning point in the debate. Donald Trump's ultimatum. Not to be outdone, former President Donald Trump added fuel to the fire. Trump, who had previously railed against raising the debt ceiling under President Biden, now demanded not only its abolition but also massive tax cuts for the ultra-wealthy. In a stark reversal of his past rhetoric, Trump's new stance aimed to align with Musk's billionaire-friendly agenda. This maneuver alienated even some of Trump's staunchest allies, including MAGA Republicans who had long championed fiscal conservatism. Trump's social media posts echoed Musk's sentiments, but his demands went even further. By insisting on the complete removal of the debt ceiling, Trump effectively proposed opening the floodgates for unchecked federal borrowing, a policy that contradicts the conservative movement's long-standing commitment to fiscal restraint. Critics within the GOP began to voice their concerns, accusing Trump of abandoning principle for political expediency. MAGA Republicans in disarray. The internal discord within the Republican Party was palpable. Representative Chip Roy, a vocal MAGA Republican, took to the House floor to lambast the proposed bill. "Congratulations," he sarcastically remarked, "you've added $330 billion to the debt since you regained the majority. This bill increases the debt by $5 trillion. It's asinine." Roy's impassioned critique underscored a growing schism within the GOP as 38 Republicans broke ranks to vote against the Frankenstein bill. Roy's remarks highlighted a broader issue: the MAGA movement's internal contradictions. While claiming to champion fiscal responsibility, the proposed bill's provisions, including the removal of the debt ceiling and tax cuts for billionaires, undermine the very principles that MAGA Republicans purport to uphold. This ideological inconsistency has eroded trust within the party, leaving rank-and-file members to question their leadership's direction. Speaker Mike Johnson's fumbled leadership. House Speaker Mike Johnson's press conference only deepened the perception of Republican dysfunction. Attempting to justify the bill's contradictions, Johnson claimed that pushing the debt ceiling to 2027 was part of a broader strategy for fiscal responsibility, a statement that defied logic and invited widespread ridicule. Johnson's evident discomfort and vague assurances did little to assuage concerns, leaving many questioning his ability to lead. Johnson's tenure as Speaker has been marked by mounting challenges, and this latest episode has done little to bolster his standing. Critics argue that his leadership style, characterized by deference to influential figures like Musk and Trump, has weakened the GOP's ability to govern effectively. Johnson's reliance on rhetoric over substance has alienated moderates and emboldened opposition, both within and outside his party. Democratic leadership steps in. As Republicans floundered, Democratic leaders seized the moment to highlight their consistent governance. Representative Jared Moskowitz of Florida delivered a scathing critique, reminding his colleagues that it was Democrats who had repeatedly stepped in to raise the debt ceiling and prevent government shutdowns. "Put on your big boy pants and pass your own bill," Moskowitz declared, emphasizing the GOP's inability to govern effectively. Similarly, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries dismissed the Musk-Johnson proposal as laughable. His remarks resonated with voters who saw the Democratic Party as the only adult in the room amid Republican chaos. Elon Musk, puppet master or rogue operator. Musk's influence in this debacle has raised serious questions about the role of unelected billionaires in American politics. Representative Robert Garcia bluntly described the situation as the beginning of the Elon Musk presidency, with Trump relegated to the role of vice president in Musk's shadow administration. The idea that Musk could wield such outsized influence, dictating legislative priorities from behind a keyboard, has alarmed lawmakers across the political spectrum. The fallout. With the defeat of the Musk-Trump Frankenstein bill, the Republican Party faces an uphill battle to regain credibility. The lack of same-day authority complicates their ability to pass new legislation quickly, leaving the GOP in disarray. Meanwhile, Democrats have made it clear that they will not bail out Republicans unless invited to the negotiating table in good faith. The episode has also highlighted the inherent contradictions within the MAGA movement. While claiming to champion fiscal conservatism, the proposed bill's provisions, including the removal of the debt ceiling and tax cuts for billionaires, undermine the very principles that MAGA Republicans purport to uphold. This internal conflict threatens to fracture the GOP further, creating an opening for Democrats to consolidate their position as the party of stability and governance. The broader implications of this legislative failure extend beyond party politics. For ordinary Americans, the government's ability to function effectively is at stake. Federal workers face uncertainty, critical programs risk disruption, and public trust in Congress continues to erode. The stakes are high, and the consequences of inaction could be dire. The defeat of the Musk-Trump Frankenstein bill marks a turning point in American politics. It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of letting billionaires and populist rhetoric dictate policy. For Republicans, the debacle underscores the perils of internal discord and the consequences of prioritizing the whims of unelected influencers over the needs of the American people. For Democrats, it's an opportunity to double down on their message of responsible governance and bipartisan cooperation. As the dust settles, one thing is clear: the American people are watching. They've seen the chaos and dysfunction on full display, and they're demanding better. The question now is whether our leaders will rise to the occasion or whether this episode will be just another chapter in the ongoing saga of political gridlock. Either way, the stakes have never been higher, and the fight for the soul of American democracy continues.